said in the press that I was invited to speak to the transgender employees at Netflix, and I refuse. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I am confused about what we are speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames this, that it's me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say. For the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know from that community has been nothing but loving and supporting. So I don't know what all this nonsense is about. In summer 2020, when the whole world shut down, I was outside doing shows. My neighbor had a cornfield, and he let me throw shows there, and people came from all over the country. Some people came from around the world to see those shows. The best comedians on earth came to my home and broke bread with me. And we lived our lives. We found a way to keep moving forward. I made a whole documentary about it. The first night of those shows was a piece that some of you might have seen. It was called 846, and it dealt with the murder of George Floyd. This film that I made was invited to every film festival in the United States, and some of those invitations I accepted. And when this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals. And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film. Thank God for Ted Sarandos at Netflix. He's the only one that didn't cancel me yet. To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands. And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end. You must come to a place of my choosing and a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gadsby is not funny. I desperately want people to see this movie, but I understand why investors would be nervous. Since nobody will touch it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make it available for all of you in 10 American cities, going on sale in the next few days. You will be able to see this movie in its entirety, and you can see what they're trying to obstruct you from seeing. And you can judge for yourself, but you cannot have this conversation and exclude my voice from it. That is only fair. You have to answer the question, am I canceled or not? Then let's go. Thank you very much, and good night.
Dave Chappelle, hey everyone, Dave Chappelle sharing something really important about a letter that he received at a hotel that he lodged, but the hotel had another person's name, and he never knew that one of person's names were one of his fans. So he lodged in the hotel with another person's name, but he never knew that the person's name was one of his fans. So listen to what he says.
Man, whoever wrote this letter truly loves me. I mean, they were really fucking nice in the letter. And then they described to me what it was like to come to the show, how excited they were, how much fun they were having. And then they said that when I got to my jokes about transgenders, that they were, quote, devastated. Because it turns out that whoever wrote the letter was transgender. Now, I'm going to be real for a second. As a policy, you got to understand, I never feel bad about anything I say up here. And I would never admit this to you if I hadn't locked your phones up. But it was the weirdest thing. Like when I read this letter, this shit made me feel bad. I didn't feel bad about what I said, you understand? I felt bad that I made somebody else feel bad. To be honest, I don't even know what I said that upset that person. I have so many transgender jokes. But I feel like it was probably this joke I'm about to tell you right now. And it's not even that bad of a joke. It's a true joke. I mean, it's not true, but I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, fuck it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck. You know, sometimes I just want to read some stats. I don't know why you're going to cram some man pussy in the middle of the sports page like this. I just didn't think that was the place for it. But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. I'm not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures. And I don't think I'm ready to see what she's trying to show me. So Caitlyn, God damn, if you go through with this thing, bitch, you better go hard or go home. I want you to go all the way. Hustler style. You know what hustler style means, miss? That means spread the lips. I hope she spreads her lips and there's an itty bitty dick inside. Ah! The show is behind the curtains. That upset that person. But I'm going to tell you something. When I read that letter, and the moments after I read it, I did something that many black men in America do not have the time or the money to do. I thought about how I felt. Asked myself a very basic question that I don't think I ever directly contemplated. I said, man, Dave, if you're writing all these jokes, do you have a problem with transgender people? And the answer is, Absolutely not. The fuck do you guys think I am? I don't understand all the choices that people make. But I do understand that life is hard and that those types of choices do not disqualify you from a life with dignity and happiness and safety in it. But if I'm honest, my problem has never been with transgender people. My problem has always been with the dialogue about transgender people. I just feel like these things should not be discussed in front of the blacks. It's fucking insulting, all this.
What does Dave Chappelle mean there when he says that? Does it mean black gets irritated when transgender conversations or topic comes up?
Talk about how these people feel inside. Since when has America given a fuck how any of us feel inside? And I cannot shake this awful suspicion that the only reason everybody is talking about transgenders is because white men want to do it. That's right. I just said that. If it was just women that felt that way, or black dudes and Mexican dudes being like, hey, y'all, we feel like girls inside, they'd be like, shut up, nigga. No one asked you how you felt. Come on, everybody, we have strawberries to pick. It reeks of white privilege. You never asked yourself why it was easier for Bruce Jenner to change his gender than it was for Cassius Clay to change his fucking name? And if I were to be brutally honest, the only reason I ever been mad at the transgender community is because I was at a club in LA and danced with one of these niggas for 6 songs straight. I had no idea. And then the lights came up and I saw them knuckles. I said, oh no! And everybody was laughing at me. Ah, world star. I said, why didn't you say anything? Then I heard that sultry voice. I didn't say anything, Dave Chappelle, because I was having a wonderful time. And I wasn't sure how you'd feel about it. I said, you knew how I'd feel. And she said, I'm going home. I don't want any trouble from you. I said, home, it's only 2 songs left. I mean, we might as well finish the night. And we ended up having breakfast together. Oh, grow up, that doesn't make me gay. I just titty fucked her. His titties are as real as any titties in their life. 2 o'clock in the morning, I was just borrowing a little friction from a stranger. Whoops! It's the madness of youth. It's the types of mistakes that a man makes when he's young. I wouldn't even know that it's necessarily a mistake. It was a wild night out. But I don't do it like that anymore. I'm old. I'm 44 now. It's the first time in my life I've ever started to physically feel my age. It's tough, man. You know how I'm getting old? This is embarrassing, but I was in my hotel room. I'm not gonna lie, I was jerking off, and I was really sweating it out. And this is when I knew I was old. I just gave up in the middle, like nothing even happened. like looking at my dick anymore. My dick looks distinguished. It's old, an old looking dick. It's got salt and pepper hair all around it. My dick looks like Morgan Freeman in the 90s. Without the dots. My dick narrates. Dave pulled me out and started jerking me around. But not with the same vigor as when he was young. He and I both knew nothing was coming out. I see my age in my children. I came home from the road. This is not long ago. I've been gone for, if you can picture, I was gone for weeks and weeks. And when I came back, nobody was home. Now, one person in my family thought that maybe I'd like to see them when I got back. Like, they knew when I was coming back, but they just weren't home. And that shit was a wake-up call. You know, like when my kids were little, and the tour bus would pull up to the house, these motherfuckers would spill out. Dad is home, hooray! And they'd hug me and kiss me, and then as the years went on, they'd get less interested. Hey, everybody, look, it's Mr. Promises back from the road. But empty house, that's some cold shit. And I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, hello, hello?
Indeed, that is true. Once the kids start getting older, you start feeling lonely sometimes. That is definitely true with what Dave Chappelle says.
I don't want you to worry about me. I'm vaccinated. I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I gotta admit, that's probably the most niggerish decision I've made in a long time. I walk in the doctor like, give me the third best option. I'll have what the homeless people are having.
Solomon, black man, election manager, Ambazonian with the vote. Election don't go. Yes, as we the vote, he go. For true, they say they will be the now there we go, they go. By election to heaven, all man with the photo, many don't win the vote. For the sake of the gospel, brother, we go suffer.
30 years in this industry.
Yeah, man, you know, it's funny. So my youngest son is 14 now. That's how old I was when I started. You know, I'm 44 now. I look at him, and I think all the things that were going on around me at that time and what it was like starting, and now I can't imagine that that's what happened. But at the time, it felt very natural, and it felt very safe, even though it was not. You know, I mean, but I'm just grateful, man. Like, to be able to do something like this for 30 years, I gotta be one of the luckiest people alive, man. Like, I don't know that I've ever really had any other job.
How old were you when you made your first TV development deal?
19. My mother and my grandmother were freaked out. You know, I was the first person in my family not to go to college that had not been a slave.
Right.
So I was really breaking from tradition, and it was like a graduation lunch we were having, and they had my dad come and talk to me, and my dad takes me outside, and he's like, listen, and this is some advice that applies to all you acting students. He says, to be an actor is a lonely life. Everybody wants to make it, and you might not make it. And I said to my dad, well, that depends on what making it is, Dad. He was a smart-ass kid.
Yeah.
It depends on what making it is, Dad. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, you're a teacher. I said, if I could make a teacher salary doing comedy, I think that's better than being a teacher. And he started laughing.
He said, if you keep that attitude, I think you should go. He said, but name your price in the beginning. If it ever gets more expensive than the price you name, get out of there. Thus, Africa.
When Martin Lawrence was in that chair, we talked about Blue Streak.
I love that dude.
He played a role in your life, I believe. How do you feel about him as a person, as an artist?
Martin Lawrence is the guy that showed everybody you can make it from D.C. to Hollywood. And I had a personal stake in his success. Every time he did something, it made me feel inspired and really good. And he was always real nice to me. He'd sit me down, what's going on with you, baby boy? What? We'd talk about comedy, whatever. And, you know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh, my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me?
Yeah.
What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
You know, in the past, I used to always tell a lot of jokes about white people. And I know there's a lot of white people here with us tonight. Good evening, whites.
Everybody knows what it's like to be embarrassed or to be feel marginalized. The implication is authority. Nobody likes authority figures.
When I say jokes about white people, don't think for a second that I'm talking about you. Don't forget, I almost had $50 million once. When you make enough money in America, they'll pull back the curtain and introduce you to the real white people. You guys just think you're white.
Dave Chappelle is very intelligent. He's well raised. That goes without saying. A person who is well raised knows to respect the elders. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with anything, even a little bit of what the elder says, but you respect the elder for surviving.
It's so much bigger than money, though, Dave. It's so much bigger than money.
Oh, no, it was bigger than money. But you know what? I watched one of these nature shows one time, and they were talking about how a bushman finds water when it's scarce. Uh-huh. And they do what's called a salt trap. I didn't know this. Apparently baboons love salt.
Okay.
So they put a lump of salt in a hole, and they wait for the baboon. The baboon comes, sticks his hand in the hole, grabs the salt makes his hand bigger, and he's trapped. He can't get his hand out. Now, if he's smart, all he does is let go of the salt. Baboon doesn't want to let go of the salt. Then the bushman just comes, takes the baboon, throws him in the cage, and gives him all the salt he wants. And then the baboon gets thirsty. The bushman lets him out of the cage. The first place the baboon runs to is water. The bushman follows him, and they both drink to their fill. And in that analogy, I felt like the baboon. But I was smart enough to let go of the salt.
Well, veteran of comedy, people look to you to kind of clear the fog that we as Americans go through. I know you take that seriously, but is that a big burden on you, that people look to you for clarity, they look for you for truth?
I think that it's a symptom of just how
maybe bankrupt our society is right now, that we're looking to our entertainers for this type of guidance. But when things are obscure, artists do try to tell the truth. Sometimes it's not like they're looking for the truth. Sometimes they just want to hear their truth come out of somebody else. Like, why don't, you know what I mean? So I don't look at it as a burden, or I don't even look at it as a responsibility. I just think it's the nature of the genre. And I think that one of the things that's special about our genre in this day and age is that it's very engaging. It's very personal. And I think in this cyberspace world that people need an entertainer that looks them in the eyes and says the things that they feel. For all the things that I've done, I'm most renowned for what I didn't do. I've made decisions in my career that a lot of people have called insane. 2004, had a $50 million deal on the table, and in a crisis of conscience, flipped the table over and walked away. Went to South Africa. Everyone said I was running away from the money. That is not true. In fact, I still want that money. The idea that I wanted to just share with you guys is the idea that sometimes you do what you think is best, whether anybody understands it or not. I heard a story about my father where someone told me he used to do statistics for a company in D.C. The company he did statistics for started doing business with the South African government, so he quit his job. It's caused a lot of problems between him and his wife. It's hard for a man when he can't provide for his family the way he wants to, and he suffered through it. And a generation later, when I had my crisis of conscience, I was able to go to a free South Africa and get away from the heat. This idea that what you do in your lifetime informs the generations that comes after you is something I keep thinking about, something that is so much bigger than just ourselves. I just want you guys to remember, you know, that right now there's this thing where ethics aren't what they used to be. This idea that people are trying to replace the ideas of good and bad with better or worse. And that is incorrect. You gotta keep your ethics intact, because good and bad is a compass that helps you find the way. And a person that only does what's better or worse is the easiest type of person to control. They are a mouse in a maze that just finds the cheese. But the one who knows about good and bad will realize that he's in a maze.
This is my last question for you. You don't do many sit-down TV interviews. Why is that?
Because so much of an answer depends on how you feel any given day. But it lives forever. That your opinions about things can change, your view of yourself can change, and yet this is on a permanent record. Like Donald Trump, he complains about it because someone can look at him and say, well, you said in 1984 that this, that, or the other, and that's the cross you have to bear when you engage the press. And more important than that, I talk for a living, so I don't want to blather about me blathering. You know what I mean? I'd rather just do it.
Dave Chappelle! Oh, it's awesome. Good to see you.
Good morning, nerds.
Exactly.
Who does it? Who's like, I'm gonna go see the news live?
You have never endorsed anybody. You didn't endorse Obama. People came back from the dead, black people, to endorse Obama. What do you know about Ben Jealous that makes you want to come out and endorse Ben Jealous?
What do I know about Dave Chappelle?
I know exactly.
I'm not, Van, I'm not a real political dude.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a cynic when it comes to politics. However, this particular election was exciting to me because Ben and I like family. Our fathers were best friends. My dad was his godfather.
Wow.
And when I was growing up, I never met Benny. He was just like a picture on the wall. When I moved to New York to do stand-up, my dad said, you know, you got a godbrother at Columbia, you should go and hook up with him. And Ben and I hooked up, and we became fast friends. First thing I realized about Ben, you know, we're similar in age, but his intellect was daunting.
Yeah.
Man, this guy is one of the smartest people I'd ever met. And from the time I was 17 to now I'm 44, I watched him work on equity, like sincerely and diligently work on equity outside of the system. Well, Ben got kicked out of Columbia at one point. He was protesting. The university had bought the Audubon Ballroom where Malcolm X was assassinated, and they were going to demolish it. And Ben was incensed, and he was like, man, you got to come up to this protest with me. And I was like, I'm good. and Ben got himself arrested. He got put out of school. And for 2 years, I watched him, you know, try to find his way. Academia was his life, and it was taken from him. And it was 2 long years. He got back into Columbia and killed it.
Right.
Got the Rhodes Scholarship, and it was a very...
First of all, that's hard to do right there.
That's right. And when he got the scholarship, excuse me, everyone was very proud of Ben. And my father said to Ben, he said, I'm very happy, I'm very proud that you won the scholarship. And then he said, my fear is that they're awarding you the scholarship so that you'll no longer be a threat. Pop was a gangster. My dad was a cynic too.
His dad went to Brown University at age 15.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that was him, not me.
But it was also like 1953. Or
yeah, well, it was not a comfortable time to be Brown at Brown. but my dad's fears were because he's from the generation where, you know, we petitioned the system from the outside. It was a post-Obama world. We've seen a community activist become the president of the United States.
Yeah.
And these times are daunting, man. I mean, even as a comedian, I travel all around the country. It's cynical out here. It's polarized in a way that I've never seen it before. And I feel like Ben is a uniter. I feel like as a policymaker, he's imaginative, and he understands people, like actual people. So for a cynic like me, he restores my faith in an institution that takes an enormous amount of money from me.
The government.
Yeah, the government. That's right. It makes me understand that a person that I know and trust can actually participate in government at a very high level and affect real change that I think is pertinent.
But you also are trying to build some interesting bridges. I want to show a clip that I think can get us off to a good start in this trying to bridge some of these divides. Let's hear a little bit from Dave in your genre, as you say.
Full disclosure. The poor whites are my least favorites. We've gotten a lot of trouble out of them. And I've never seen so many of them up close. I looked them right in their coal-smeared faces. And to my surprise, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see one deplorable face in that group. I saw some angry faces and some determined faces, but they felt like decent folk. And I listened to them. I listened to them say naive, poor white people things. Man, Donald Trump's gonna go to Washington and he's gonna fight for us. I'm standing there thinking in my mind, you dumb mother. You are poor. He's fighting for me.
I just think that is just such a brilliant distillation of where we are. People don't know. You live in rural Ohio. People think of you as this urban legend, but you actually live in rural Ohio.
Yes, I do.
And now we're, 2 years in. The economy has gotten better than it's continued to get better. What would you say to those folks who are still big Trump supporters today as we go into the midterm?
You know, this is a tough question for me, Van. I got to tell you, first of all, the town that I live in is a small town.
Yes.
And it's like a little blue Bernie Sanders island in the Trump Sea. They love Donald Trump. I don't even know that they love him as much as they're frustrated, they're fed up, and a lot of these white people feel like their voices don't matter anymore. You know, that their concerns aren't important or what have you. So, to be honest with you, in the name of safety, I wouldn't tell him anything about that guy. I don't believe that I'll change anybody's mind or anything. But for me personally, you know, I get along with everybody, whether I agree with them politically or not.
Right.
But
I thought
when you're actually trying to pull this democracy together, keep it from getting torn apart, you have to talk to everybody. You have to listen to everybody.
That's right.
I was out on the Eastern Shore, and I was giving a speech. And a guy who voted for Trump asked me what I thought about Medicare for all. And I said, I support it. He said, well, what if they won't do it at the federal level? I said, then we'll do it at the state level. He said, then I'll vote for you.
Trump support.
Yeah, I said, and I kind of straight. I said, you voted for Trump, and now you're going to vote for the former national president of the NAACP. I said, tell me why. He said, I'm a finance manager at a car dealership. My bottom line is my business and my people. Neither one of them gets healthier until we can get health care we can afford. And if he won't do it, and you will, then I'll vote for you.
There is this question, though, around Democrats versus Republicans. And you have people like Kanye West who's saying, listen, you know, love you guys and Democrats.
Excuse me 1 second.
Why don't you just get him on FaceTime?
well, you know where I'm going with this. You know, Kanye says that, you know, it's time out for Democrats. What do you guys think?
Well, I think that, first of all, you know, Kanye is an artist, man.
Yes.
And he's a genius.
Absolutely.
You know, whatever he's saying right now, I think that the angle he's seeing things from is about the division that he sees. And he's not inconsistent with what he's saying. For instance, a decade ago, I read a quote where he said he wanted to take the Confederate flag and reappropriate it some other different kind of way. I mean, there's a MAGA hat, whatever, man. The thing that's scary about this presidency is after it. I don't know if you've been married before or had a girlfriend and said something in a fight that was so wrong, and then after that, we still family, we still around each other, but man, I sure did say all that shit, didn't I? And I'm not mad at Kanye. That's my brother. I love him. I support him. I buy his albums.
No claps. Oh man, that was rough.
I know, whether people clap or not, But you know, I don't have to agree with everything that he says. I just trust him as a person of intent. But yeah, he shouldn't say all that shit.
But let me take it on the argument then. So to take his personality out of it. What about the argument he's making, which is that, you know, it's almost you're in this PC prison, you can't say anything, and you're not allowed to vote for Republicans if you're African American. What's your argument to people who feel like it's time to give Republicans a chance? You know, it's an argument being made by a minority.
But I'll say this: I'm not a partisan dude. If he ran as a Republican, I'd vote Republican. If I got a chance to vote for somebody like this, I'm voting for.
This isn't about party. This is about ideas.
That's right.
The ideas have kind of migrated from party to party. The Democrats used to be much more conservative. Today, however, unfortunately, there's only one party that stands for civil rights. There's only one party that stands for environmental protection. And we have to, as voters, really listen to the ideas. What I say to folks is that, look, the war on drugs has failed. Trickle-down economics has failed. We have to have the courage to put ideas on the table that actually lift up working families, white, black, brown, Native American, Asian American. We've got to move beyond the labels of party and look at ideas, but let's also be clear. Donald Trump's party is Donald Trump's party. And what they stand for right now, we have to fight with everything we have.
The other big issue, we're talking about race, talking about class, gender. We're now in the situation where a whole new set of voices is coming forward. How do you guys look at the role of this new movement for women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, et cetera?
I hope it succeeds. What we all have to realize is that we all have to stand up in this moment and say that these women who have the courage to step forward, these men in many places, the courage to step forward who were sexually assaulted as well. We have to believe survivors. We have to have their back, and we have to figure out how we finally leap forward. Because we've been staying stuck for a long time. It shattered a lot of lives, and enough is enough.
Yeah, I think that for most men, especially the men that I'm talking to, one, I'll tell you that as a movement, it's effective. Like in Hollywood, the man, they are buttoning up.
Which is good.
Yeah,
It's good.
It's better than good. It's necessary. Two, I'll say that there's a lot of men that are learning for the first time the extent of the plight of the women in their lives.
We're just learning that consent is important. Most of our states, they don't teach consent when they teach sex ed. Think about that.
That's right. And this is a tough discussion, but it needs to be had. And people need to learn the lessons, and we need to listen to one another. I think that some people are so threatened by the movement, or they're so worried about it, that they're not hearing the messaging behind it. But I think it's an idea that's time has come, and we'll see.
Did you watch the Kavanaugh testimony, the hearings, all that kind of stuff?
I've seen highlights. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. What was your take and impression? Can you imagine an African American or a female yelling at them senators like that?
Oh, you mean the way that Kavanaugh yelled?
Yeah. Or any of it.
You know, man, I'm from this area. Like, I grew up around here, and the sad thing about it is, I believe, sadly, if that woman had gone to the police in 1982 and told them exactly what she had told the Senate, that he wouldn't have gone to jail. Not in that place, not in that time, not with no name like Brett Kavanaugh. It was daunting. It also made me sad that this is a national discussion that's happening during a Supreme Court nominees hearing. It's a tough time for this country, man.
We got a lot more to talk about. I want to talk to Ben, and I want to talk to Dave Chappelle about mass incarceration and marijuana, which I never thought I'd talk to Ben Jealous about when we get back. Welcome back to the Van Jones Show. I'm here with comedy legend Dave Chappelle and the man that got him to wade into politics, Democratic nominee for the Maryland governorship, Ben Jealous. Give them both a round of applause to be back. What did you say to Ben Jealous to get him to be pro-marijuana decriminalization? Because I've known Ben for a long time, and that is not Ben's thing. So what did you must have done, he must have said something.
I'm not nearly as fun as some of my friends.
Exactly. I can testify that you are not. So what was that conversation like to get somebody like a Ben Jealous to be on board with decriminalizing marijuana?
Well, man, you just got to be consistent. No, I'm just kidding. I couldn't take credit for it, man. But I got to say, when I heard it was on this platform, I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I think that it's a very important issue, especially in the state of Maryland. And you can speak more about that, but how it affects Baltimore.
But as you know, Maryland's gone through a lot the last few years. We had big uprisings in Baltimore City after the Freddie Gray case. 2 years later, murders have kept climbing up. I asked a retired member of the Baltimore Police Department, recently retired captain, to go across the city, as only a retired member of BPD could, and talk to commanders on the ground and find out what they were saying about why murders were going on. He came back, he said, there are two interesting data points. He said, one was that nobody could really agree, a lot of debate about what's been happening in the last 2 years. He said, on the other hand, if the question is what's been going on in the last 10 years, they were all in agreement that half the shootings in the city, half the murders in the city were one set of marijuana dealers killing another set of marijuana dealers. And I said, how could that be? I think it was a relatively peaceful drug. He says, but it's not about the drug. It's about the trade. The violence of the trade is about territory. And a little idea, a little light bulb went off in my head. He said, look, this is no more harmful than alcohol, and alcohol we all know can be very harmful in many ways, then if we legalize it, and the police officer told me we can bring down killings. I said, well, what's happening in Washington State? What's happening in Colorado? Killings are coming down. And I said, and then we take money out of the pockets of gangs and cartels, and we put the money in the pockets of farmers and business people, and we do that in an equitable way. That's a big deal. And then we tax it, and we take the money that we can tax from it, and we're able to fund, it's enough money to fund universal pre-K for universal full-day pre-K for every 4-year-old in the state.
So you came at it more as a business guy and as a smart dad guy, as opposed to...
Well, and as a murder victim family member. I've had 2 family members shot in Maryland in the last 10 years. And if you tell me that we can bring down killings by legalizing cannabis, you have my full attention.
I'm just saying, man, it doesn't just quell violence in Baltimore. It stops a lot of violence and a lot of mayhem. And it's fun to smoke and relax.
Well, look, that may be true about marijuana, but there are other drugs that are much worse. Our mutual friend, all of us had a mutual friend in Prince who died because of a fentanyl overdose. I saw you in a stand-up thing in Los Angeles where you were talking about the impact of heroin in rural America. What are you seeing in rural America when it comes to this whole opioid epidemic?
A role reversal.
A role reversal?
Yeah. Poor white people look like black people in the 80s with a different drug of choice. And it's very sad to hear the vocabulary now. This is a health crisis. We were begging for them to call that crack epidemic a health crisis. We were criminalized, we were marginalized, and now these heroin addicts are here, and man, if they don't have our baby clothes on, it's terrible to see.
In both ways, it's terrible to see the pain and suffering, and terrible to see the hypocrisy politically.
Yeah.
What's your concern about marijuana legalization possibly then opening the floodgates for things like opioids, heroin, fentanyl?
So there's a lot of lives that are being shattered right now. I mean, opioid deaths in Maryland up 160% in 4 years. We have to treat it like a public health crisis. And I wish we could go back in time. We can't. We just got to learn and go forward. In that respect, this is a gateway drug to common sense on drug reform.
Wow.
We've got to deal with this public health crisis as a public health crisis.
Famously on SNL, you said you wanted to give Trump a chance, but you also wanted to make sure that he gave disenfranchised people a chance. Looking at the Trump presidency almost 2 years in, do you feel that he gave disenfranchised people a chance?
It's hard to tell where Trump ends and his constituents begin, but I think that the rhetoric of his presidency is repugnant. I just don't like the way he talks. I don't like, we're living in a time where there's got to be a little more cultural sensitivity. And even a guy like me that's just writing jokes, I have to listen more than I've ever had to listen because the gripes is coming so fast and furious. And I'm not dismissive of people's gripes. It might sound like it on stage, but I listen. And as a president of a country that's as eclectic as ours, you look around your crowd, you see it's like a patchwork of people. I just think that he's speaking to a very small choir. And there's so many more opinions that the way he engages public is dismissive. I don't like talking bad about the president, but I said we should give him a chance because he's the president of the United States now. What choice do I have?
Right.
But I think you also apologized for that sometime later, didn't you?
Well, I don't ever apologize for that. What I said is, I said I shouldn't have said that shit.
Let's be clear, right? Let's be clear. Donald Trump is playing a politics of divide and conquer. He's picking scapegoats all day long. Muslims, Mexicans, immigrants, black folks, women, it goes on and on.
Yep.
Right? Occasionally, and so what do we do in that moment? We actually have to listen to each other. We have to talk to each other respectfully. We got to pull each other together because the only thing that beats the politics of divide and conquer is the politics of unite and prosper. And that's only possible if we're willing to respect each other and listen to each other.
Well, listen, you gave people a reason to tune in, and you're giving people a reason to turn out. I can't tell you how much it means. My dream is coming true having a show like this. I know your dreams have come true being able to be one of the greatest that we've ever seen rock the microphone. And for you to be on the campaign trail raising these issues, dreams can't come true in America. When we get back, I'm talking to the most famous astrophysicist in the universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson. We're going to get his take on the increasing attacks on climate science and President Trump's Space Force when we get back. Welcome back to the Van Jones Show. My next guest is America's favorite scientist. He's an astrophysicist. He's the director of the Hayden Planetarium, and he is the author of 15 books. His latest book is called Accessory to War, The Unspoken Alliance Between Astrophysics and the Military. It's already on the New York Times bestseller list. Please welcome to the Van Jones Show, Neil deGrasse Tyson in the house.
What are you doing here? What?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, this is your life. Oh my goodness.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, it's an honor to have you here. We're excited about it. Listen, you are somebody, you deal with facts. You deal with analysis, rationality. How are you handling this world now where it seems like it's facts over feelings, anger over analysis?
Feelings over facts.
Oh, yeah, feelings over facts, anger over analysis. As a scientist, I mean, how do you make sense of what's going on right now?
Yeah, it's frustrating. All I can say is the universe is in good shape. It's Earth that has all the problems, right? So it's a frustrating time because you try to have a rational, informed conversation with someone about what is objectively true, and then people argue vociferously against it. Right. And it's revealing itself on many levels. I mean, there's the comical level where you have this movement of people who are sure the Earth is flat.
Right.
And so we laugh at that, and you might even sort of discount it, but that is a symptom, I think, of some other deeper state of mind where maybe it's not a state of mind, perhaps it's just a state of not knowing what science is and how and why it works.
Yeah.
We spend time in school learning, you take a science class, we all did. I think the way it's taught is here's a satchel of knowledge, which is facts. Learn them and then move on.
And bubble on the test.
Bubble on the test and move on. Now you take the next class without realizing that science is a way of querying nature. Science is a way of asking questions about what you do not know. And if you don't think of it that way, you'll just leave the science class behind, you'll sell your textbook, and you move on, and then you might feel the freedom to discount it as you would discount anything else you might have learned.
Are we running out of time on climate?
Yes, the broader problem is, if you have politicians arguing about what is established objective truths, then you're wasting time. Right. You're wasting everybody's time. That's not what politics should be. I have nothing against politics. I understand we live in a complex world. People have different ideas and feelings about what kind of world they want to live in. I get that. I'm mature enough to understand that. The problem comes about is when you go behind closed doors and you're arguing about what the scientists tell you, not arguing about what to do about what the scientist tells you. But the more those are delayed because you're wondering about whether the science is true, even though you have reports from scientific agencies establishing this, I worry for the future of the country.
But what is the thing that worries you the most about climate?
We've had relatively stable climate. No ice ages, no hot spells, and we've had these ice caps that have remained, primarily in Antarctica and Greenland. Oh my gosh, if you melt those ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica, the water levels will rise and come to the level of the Statue of Liberty's elbow. Okay? So, we are talking not so much, oh, it's so hot, it's going to kill me. No, we're talking about sea level change. And where are all the greatest cities in the world? They're on the ocean's edge, on the river's edge. My point is, what's going to happen first? The coastal cities will get flooded. You're not going to just see water levels slowly rise. That will happen, but that's not what you're going to notice first. The storm, the swell, that previously only brought the water to here, now breaches your city walls. You'll see it in the extremes of the weather. And this will destabilize the world. And you know who knows about this is the military.
Yeah, the Pentagon has no debate.
Pentagon has no debate. You know who else doesn't have a debate? Insurance companies.
Right. But you're saying our cities are at risk, our civilizations are at risk, you're going to displace a whole bunch of people, and that could cause all kind of wars.
It'll happen faster than you could move the city inland.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that level of instability is something that worries me. Something else that you talk about is this whole idea of the relationship between the military and science. And, when Trump came out with his whole idea of the Space Force, because I'm a progressive, I was like, well, that's just nuts, a crazy idea. But then I looked into it. I want you to see what I found out about the Space Force, and I want to get your reaction to it.
Sure.
Space Force. President Trump says his proposed Space Force would prepare us for any potential Star Wars.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
A new equal branch of the military. Now, the last time the U.S. created a new military branch was 1947. That was the Air Force. It would manage space missile systems, build and launch satellites, and oversee all the military space-related programs that are currently being run by other departments like NASA or the Air Force. The new force would even have its own intelligence arm, designing and operating spy satellites. The U.S. military has been a space player for quite some time, with the space shuttle actually delivering classified payloads like spy satellites into orbit. And this, the X-37B, it's a 29-foot unmanned space plane. It launches and lands like the old space shuttle. It's stayed in orbit now for over 2 years at a time, but its mission is classified. President Trump says the force is necessary because adversarial countries like Russia and China are already building weapons and anti-satellite systems that could threaten the United States.
When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space.
But not everybody is over the moon about this new agency. Some are worried that this new branch would be just too expensive. Some people are putting the cost at $12.9 billion over the first 5 years alone.
It's a trap.
Other critics are worried that you could spark a space race that could lead to real combat in the cosmos. The Trump administration is hoping to get the new agency a liftoff by 2020, but in order for this to be anything other than pie in the sky, Congress must approve it. But is this a good idea or a bad idea, according to you?
Maybe some ideas are neither good or bad. They're just the right thing to do. Just because the idea came out of the Trump administration doesn't make it an irrational suggestion.
Hey, listen, well, that's actually good to hear.
Yeah, as you correctly noted, you would shift away from the Air Force what it's already controlling, the U.S. Space Command, and it would just become its own branch. And if I would throw in maybe asteroid defense, why not?
You wrote a book about this relationship between astrophysics and war, and the way that almost inevitably science and the military accelerate each other. Why did you write that book, and what do you hope that people get from this book?
The relationship between science and military might is well known, all right? It wasn't soldiers who invented the catapult. It was some engineer in the back room who said, hey, I can do this, and then military leaders said, let's take it,
and use it.
All right? And so for physics, they made the bomb, and the chemists made the napalm, and the biologists might weaponize anthrax. What does the astrophysicist do? I care about things like dim things that I'll use multispectral imaging to detect. I care about sending moving spacecrafts to intersect moving objects in space. I care about navigation, where I am on the sky and where I am on Earth.
And all of that could be used by the military.
All of that.
Yeah.
Not only can be used, has been used.
Are you trying to warn us about that, or are you just trying to make sure that we understand it? Help me understand your passion about that.
Thank you. I grew up in New York City. It's a progressive city. It's a progressive place. My first awareness of culture and news was late 60s. And what is the state of the Vietnam War on our conscience? The equation was war equals bad.
Right.
And I had no way to understand why there were statues of heroic soldiers in reference to other wars. And I would have to mature into the state of mind, realizing that there are times when a bad agent rises up, and you would be irresponsible as a contributing member of civilization if you did not stop it. And that's what happened in the Second World War with Adolf Hitler. Right. People rose up, and you weren't saying, oh, war is bad, don't use my new invention to help defeat Hitler. You were saying, here, do it, use it as much as you can, and I'll work on some more. So once I realized this, and I said, I know my people, my historic brethren, had been handmaidens to this, especially when it came to navigating the world. We don't make the bombs, but we tell you how to get to where you're going and how to find your enemy again and how to know a coastline if you're going to take over that land. But in this book, I'm not there to judge it. I'm there to expose it.
Well, listen, I am excited about the book. I know a lot of people are. We got so much more to talk about when we get back. Coming up, we got more with Neil deGrasse Tyson, including answers to some of the most pressing science questions in the news right now when we get back. Jones Show. I'm here with the most famous astrophysicist in the universe, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Time for a lightning round. Okay, here's my stuff. First of all, is Pluto a planet? Yes or no?
No, next. Get over it. Next.
It's so wrong. It's so wrong.
It ain't no business being it.
Number 2. There is a skull-shaped asteroid that's coming toward the Earth during Halloween. Should I be scared?
No. It'll come near us. We'll get some good shots of it. And I promise you, it will not look exactly like a human skull, in spite of the artist's renderings. It'll be far enough away, you don't have to worry about it.
No, nothing to worry about.
No, I promise you.
Okay. What's the one thing that you know nothing about?
Oh.
Stumped him!
No. I don't. I wish I knew how to compose music. In another life, that's what I'll do. I want to compose music for Broadway musicals. That's a fantasy of mine.
Oh, that'd be nice.
In a different life, yeah.
Different life. You still got time.
I said a different life, not this one.
No.
I'm busy. I got more to do in this life, okay? In the multiverse.
Last question. Carl Sagan's gone. Stephen Hawking's gone.
Yeah.
Did you ever think, when you were a little black kid watching Carl Sagan, that at some point the most beloved scientist in America, maybe in the world, would be an African-American man?
No, and I'm still a little bit freaked out. I don't view it as a personal achievement. I view it as evidence that people have everybody's got a little bit of geek in them. And I'm there tickling it for them, and I'm stimulating it, and it rises up, and they want more. And so my hope for the future is that this bit of stimulation gets people to want to care about what is objectively true, care about science, care about technology, care about the future of our country and the future of civilization itself. And if I'm a catalyst for that, that's great. I don't even have to be remembered for any of it. You know what I want on my tombstone? A quote from Horace Mann: "Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity."
Yeah, beautiful. Listen, Neil deGrasse Tyson, give his brother a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Everybody check out the book. It's called Accessory to War. I'm Van Jones, The Van Jones Show. Thank you for watching. Peace and love for one another.
Something is killing me slowly, and I'm feeling so lonely. But this thing I must to talk, oh. Yeah. All my people, they for bush, oh. And our children are they go for school, oh. But nobody fit to talk, oh. We get to plenty, so many things where we really want to complain to you. See these people where they kill us, are the people where they got for protect me, yeah. Our children they for prison, our leaders they for prison. Now they calling for dialogue. Now who and who go talk, oh. That's
celebrity hunting season. Doesn't matter what I say, they're gonna get everybody eventually. Like, look, I don't think I did anything wrong, but we'll see. They even got poor Kevin Hart. Can you imagine such a thing? Kevin Hart, let me tell you something. It was Kevin Hart's dream to host the Oscars. That's what he told me. And I remember when he told me, because I was thinking to myself, well, that's an awfully strange dream for an African American. Kind of nigga dreams of hosting the Oscars. Kevin did, that's who. And he did it. Against all the odds, Kevin became the most famous comedian this world has ever seen, and he got the job that only one black man before him had had. He was going to host the 80th Oscars. And I don't know what you know about Kevin, but I know Kevin Hart is damn near perfect. As close to perfect as anybody I've ever seen. In fact, Kevin is precisely 4 tweets shy of being perfect. 10 years ago, Kevin had made some very homophobic comments. And I'm not going to repeat what he said, because this is Atlanta. You know what I mean. I'm sure there's a lot of gay men here tonight with their wives. far be it from me to offend anybody. All right, I'll tell you what he said. But just remember, these are not my words. These were Kevin's words. It was a long time ago. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm not good at telling other people's jokes. Okay, Kevin said that if his little son was demonstrating or exhibiting homosexual behavior around the house, that he'd chastise him. He'd say, hey, that's gay. And then he said he would smash a dollhouse over that child's head. Ooh, the gay community was furious. And I don't blame them. I got a lot of gay friends. And all of them, 100% of them, all have told me fucking horror stories about the shit they had to go through just to be themselves. Crazy, crazy stories. And in all those stories, like I say, not one of them has ever mentioned anything like their father smashing a fucking dollhouse over their head. Because clearly Kevin was joking. Think about it. You would have to buy this nigga a dollhouse to break it over his head in the first place. Does that sound right? Is anybody gonna do that? The gay community was upset, and then they put so much pressure on the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences that they went to Kevin and said, if you don't apologize to that community, then you cannot host these Oscars. And then Kevin said, fuck it, I quit. And then he went on every talk show in America and apologized for 6 weeks. Kevin fucked up. I understand the mistake he made because I've made the same mistake early in my career. This is many years ago, 15 years ago. It's when I was doing Chappelle's show. Thank you. On network television, they have a department that's called Standards and Practices. This is the department that tells you what you can and cannot say on television. And if you're doing your job well, you should never hear from them. But if you're making a Chappelle show, you'll hear from these motherfuckers all the time. And remember, this is 15 years ago. I made a mistake. I didn't even know I had done anything wrong. I had written a sketch that had the word faggot in it. So I had to go to Standards and Practices. They call me up. I don't know why they're calling me, but I like the lady that runs the department. She's usually really fair and was one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. So she sits me down. We have a nice conversation. She tells me, oh, the sketches are great. I go, oh, fantastic. Well, then why am I here? She said, because, David, there's no way that you can ever say the word faggot on our network. I didn't know I did anything wrong. I didn't try to defend myself. I said, all right, fuck it. I'll take it out. Have a good afternoon. And as I was leaving, it occurred to me, hey, Renee, quick question. It's just a question. Seriously, I want to know, like, why is it that I can say the word nigger with impunity? But I can't say the word faggot. And she said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a nigger either. But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves. I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger. It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's. People be surprised. I have friends, all kinds of letters. Everybody loves me and I love everybody. I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my fucking guts. And I don't blame them. It's not their fault, it's mine. I can't stop telling jokes about these things. I don't want to write these jokes, but I just can't stop. You know, you hear all those letters together all the time, LBGT, LBGT, and you think it's just one big movement. It's not. All those letters are their own movement. They just travel in the same car together. And my guess is, what is this, high school? This nigga probably got a babysitter or something. Go and answer your phone, niggas. Get that shit out of here. I'm in the middle of something important. Wouldn't it be funny if we made fun of him? He was like, and he went outside like, hello? Mama's dead. Oh no! Mama's dead. That's a weird time phone call, wasn't it? It's like his phone is gay. Like I was saying, my guess is the G's are driving that car. That makes sense to me, because there's white men in the G's. And these people are trying to get around discrimination and oppression. And you know how white dudes are. We know these roads. In fact, we built these roads. The rest of you buckle up. We'll get you where you want to go. So the G's are just driving the car. Of course, next to the G's in the passenger seat is the L's. Everybody likes the L's, except for the G's. I don't know what that's about. I just know the G's don't like them that much. And the G's always say like little subliminal digs on them. It's unnecessary shit. It's not mean, but you know what I mean? They just be like, I wouldn't wear that. The only thing that breaks the tension between the L's and the G's are the B's in the back seat. That's right, there you go. Everybody scream out when you hear your letter. If it's one thing that the L's and the G's agree on, is that the B's are fucking gross. They seem greedy to the L's and the G's, you know what I mean? They're just sitting in the back seat like, yeah, man, I'll fuck anybody in this car. What's going on, man? And sitting next to the B's, all the way in the back seat by themselves, looking out the window. That's the T's. Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's. It's not the T's fault, but everyone in the car just feels like the T's are making the trip take longer. Anything the T's say gets on everybody's nerves. And then the T's don't even say anything bad. They just be in the back talking to himself. I'm hot. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, okay? Just roll the window down, you bitch. I don't know what you... What? Just said I was hot. Can you pull over at the next exit? I need to use the restroom. There is not a restroom for you for 4 states, nigga. Will you just shut the fuck up so we can get where we're going? And just when that car can't get any more tense, the Q's are a hitchhiker that they pick up on the road. Some white dude in booty shorts is walking down the freeway. Jesus see him. That guy might be one of us. Hey, are you okay? You need some help? And he come over there with them booty shorts leaning on the window. Hey, what's going on, fellas? Lady? Whatever pronoun makes you feel comfortable in the back. Yeah. I don't really know where I'm going. I don't know if I'm gay or I'm straight or whatever. All I know for sure is that I really want to get in this car. And they make him get in and sit in between the B's and the T's. I feel bad for T's, but they're so confusing. And it's not all my fault. I feel like they need to take some responsibility for my jokes. Because I didn't come up with this idea on my own. This idea that a person can be born in the wrong body. But they have to admit, that's a fucking hilarious predicament. It's really fucking funny. And if it happened to me, you'd laugh, wouldn't you? That wouldn't be funny if it happened to me? I think it would be. What if it did? What if I was Chinese, but born in this nigga body? That's not funny. And for the rest of my life, I had to go around making that face. Hey, everybody, I'm Chinese! And everyone get mad. Stop making that face. That's offensive. What? This is how I feel inside.